Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to study about the corpus callosum. We have already talked about the superolateral surface of the brain, the medial surface of the brain. While teaching the medial surface of the brain, I taught you about the location of the corpus callosum. Now we shall study in details about the corpus callosum. The corpus callosum, it is the largest commissure of the brain and it connects the two cerebral hemispheres, isn't it? It connects the two cerebral hemispheres like this, isn't it? In the median plane. The corpus callosum connects the two cerebral hemisphere in the median plane. Now the most important thing is we have to know the various parts about the corpus callosum. So it is the largest commissure of the brain, got it, which connects the two cerebral hemispheres. Okay, and the right side is connected with the left side. Got it? The right side is connected with the left side, and many fibers are passing through this corpus callosum. Got it? And it is controlling most of the activities by the fibers that are passing through the corpus callosum. Now, parts of the corpus callosum. Parts of the corpus callosum are this is the anterior part of the corpus callosum. This is the posterior part of the corpus callosum. This is the anterior part of the corpus callosum. This is the posterior part of the corpus callosum. So here below down, this is called as the rostrum. Got it? Here below down, this is called as the rostrum. This portion over here, got it? This portion over here, this bend over here is called as the genu. Got it? This bend over here is called as the genu. This whole upper portion is called as the trunk. Got it? This whole upper portion is called as the trunk, and this posterior portion is called as the splenium. Got it? It is called as the splenium. Okay? So, the corpus callosum consists of the rostrum, the genu, the trunk, and the splenium. To repeat again, the corpus callosum consists of the rostrum, the genu, the trunk, and the splenium. But while talking what we talk, the genu, the trunk, the splenium, and the rostrum. So when we talk like this, we feel the rostrum is present over here. No, the rostrum is present below the genu. Got it? It is directed downwards and backwards. Got it? It is directed downwards and forwards. Sorry, not backwards, but it is directed downwards and forwards. Above that, over here, this curve, this turning point of the fibers is called as the genu. This upper portion is called as the trunk, and this posterior part is called as the splenium. Got it? Now, in addition to this, over here, this rostrum below down is called as the lamina terminalis. Got it? This lower portion, below the rostrum, there is presence of lamina terminalis, and from here you have the fornix. This is the fornix. Okay, fornix, and in front of the fornix over here, there is presence of the anterior commissure. Got it? There is presence of the anterior commissure. Okay? Over here below down is presence of the thalamus. So this is how the structures are located over here. Now, if you see over here, inside this concavity of the corpus callosum, there is presence of the lateral ventricle. Got it? And this inferior surface of the corpus callosum gives attachment to the septum perissima. Got it? it gives attachment to the septum pellucidum, and therefore you say that within the concavity of the corpus callosum, an irregular shaped cavity is situated, is called as the lateral ventricle. Got it? Is the lateral ventricle. To revise again, got it? To revise again, the corpus callosum, it is the largest commissure of the brain, which connects the two cerebral hemispheres. It is the largest commissure of the brain, which connects the two cerebral hemispheres, the right side and the left side. The parts of the corpus callosum are, you have the genu, the trunk, the splenium, and over here you have the rostrum, a small portion which is called as the rostrum. So the anterior end is the genu, the posterior end is the splenium. Got it? The anterior end is the genu, the posterior end is the splenium, and the trunk is the portion which lies between the genu and the splenium. The trunk is the portion which lies between the genu and the splenium. Rostrum is a small portion, got it, from the genu, which is directed downwards and forwards, which is directed downwards and forwards. Okay, lower down these fibers which you see, this is the fibers of the lamina terminalis. Then the fornix is present over here along the inferior surface of the, got it, inferior surface of the, or the posterior surface of the corpus callosum, and in front of the fornix there is presence of the anterior commissure. There is presence of the anterior commissural fibers, okay, and then along the inferior margins of the corpus callosum is attached the septum pellucidum, and when you remove the septum pellucidum, an irregular cavity is seen, and this is called as the lateral ventricle. Okay, now we shall see each part in details. Okay, we shall see each part in the details. The first one is the genu. Okay, the first one is the genu. Genu is the anterior end of the corpus callosum. Genu is the anterior end of the corpus callosum. It lies 4 centimeters behind. It lies 4 centimeters behind the frontal lobe. Got it? The frontal pole behind the frontal pole. Okay, so you have the cerebrum, inside is the corpus callosum, so 4 centimeters behind the frontal pole lies the genu. Got it? Now this genu, again I have to go. Got it? This genu, got it? This genu, anterior to the genu lies the cerebral arteries. Got it? As anteriorly lies the cerebral artery, and posteriorly over here, posterior to the genu lies the anterior horn of lateral ventricle. Got it? So this is the cerebral artery. Anteriorly lies the cerebral artery, because see, this is the cerebrum, this is the frontal pole, this is the parietal lobe, this is the occipital lobe, isn't it? While teaching I told you this is the medial surface, so the same thing applies over here. This is the frontal part, this is the parietal part, this is the occipital part, and we have the cerebral arteries. In the anterior part you have the anterior cerebral artery, in the middle you have the middle cerebral artery, and in the posterior part you have the posterior. So since this genu lies over here, so anterior to this, it is related to the cerebral arteries. Got it? So arteries I am saying because on the right side and on the left side. It is anteriorly, the genu is related to the cerebral arteries, and posteriorly it is related to the anterior horn of lateral ventricle. So the next topic which I will be taking is the lateral ventricle, so it will be easy for you to understand. Got it? Next, the anterior horn of lateral ventricle. Just remember at present this. Then next is the rostrum. I told you the rostrum is directed downwards, isn't it? This portion. The rostrum is directed downwards, got it? And backwards, and it ends into the lamina terminalis. Got it? This is the lamina terminalis. So that is all about the rostrum. Okay. So just below the genu lies the rostrum. Got it? It is directed downwards and forwards, and it is related to, and it continues below down as the lamina terminalis. So genu, it is the bend of the corpus callosum. Got it? It is the anterior end of the corpus callosum, and it is related anteriorly to the cerebral arteries and posteriorly to the anterior wall of the lateral ventricle. Below that is present the rostrum. The rostrum is directed downwards and backwards, and below down it continues as the lamina terminalis. Below down it continues down as the lamina terminalis, isn't it? Now remaining is the trunk. So the trunk is the portion, the middle portion of the corpus callosum. The trunk is the middle portion of the corpus callosum. It lies between the genu and the splenium. Got it? It lies between the genu anteriorly and splenium posteriorly. Got it? It lies between the genu and the splenium. It has two surfaces. Got it? It has two surfaces. This is the superior surface and this is the inferior surface. Got it? This is the superior surface. This is the inferior surface. So the trunk is the portion. The trunk of the corpus callosum is a portion which lies between the genu and the splenium. It has got two surfaces, the superior surface and the inferior surface. Got it? It has got a superior surface and an inferior surface. The superior surface, if you see, it is convex, isn't it? The superior surface is convex. The inferior surface is concave. Got it? The superior surface is convex. The inferior surface is concave. The superior surface, as I taught you, the medial surface of the cerebrum, isn't it? I taught you the medial surface of the cerebrum, and over here on the superior surface there is presence of a gyrus, isn't it? On the superior surface there is presence of a gyrus, and this gyrus is called as the cingulate. Got it? Gyrus, isn't it? It is called as the cingulate gyrus. Got it? It is called as the cingulate gyrus, and also this is related to the anterior cerebral artery. So the superior surface of the trunk, got it? The superior surface of the trunk is related to the anterior cerebral artery, because this artery is going to pass in front. Got it? This artery is passing this way. So it is related to both the genu as well as the trunk. Got it? It is related to the genu as well as the trunk. So you have the cingulate gyrus, plus you have the attachment of falx cerebri. Got it? Attachment of falx cerebri. Okay? So the trunk, the superior surface of the trunk, it is convex. Got it? It is convex. It is related to the cingulate gyrus, the anterior cerebral artery, and the falx cerebri. Got it? It is related to the falx cerebri. So these are the relations of the superior surface of the corpus callosum. The inferior surface of the corpus callosum, it is concave. Got it? The inferior surface of the trunk of the corpus callosum is concave, and it gives attachment to the septum pellucidum, isn't it? It gives attachment to the septum pellucidum, isn't it? It gives attachment to the septum pellucidum, and what else? Got it? It forms the upper part. Got it? It forms the upper part of the lateral ventricle. So the inferior surface, this inside is a cavity. So above the cavity, this is the inferior surface of the corpus callosum, and this inferior surface of the corpus callosum forms the upper boundary of the lateral ventricle. It forms the upper margins or the upper boundary of the corpus callosum. Okay? So then next is the splenium. Got it? Next is the splenium. Okay? We have the splenium, the posterior part of the corpus callosum. is called as the splenium. So it is the posterior part and it is the thickest part of the corpus callosum. Got it? It is the, if you see the whole of the corpus callosum, it is slightly narrower, but this is the thickest part of the corpus callosum. This is the thickest part of the corpus callosum, and this splenium, it lies 6 centimeters in front. Now since, see, if you draw the cerebrum this way, isn't it? If you draw the outline of the cerebrum this way, got it? Here this is the frontal part, isn't it? And this is the occipital part. So the genu lies 4 centimeters behind the frontal pole and the splenium lies 6 centimeters in front of the occipital pole. Got it? The genu lies 4 centimeters behind the frontal pole and the splenium lies 6 centimeters in front. This is in front and behind is the occipital pole, isn't it? So this lies 6 centimeters in front of the occipital pole. Okay? Understood? It lies 6 centimeters in front of the occipital pole. Okay? So to repeat the whole thing again, you have the rostrum, you have the genu, you have the trunk, you have the splenium. The splenium has got more relations which I will let you know just now. First, the relations of the splenium. The relations, it has a superior surface and an inferior surface. Got it? Superior surface, inferior surface and the posterior surface. So the genu consists of the superior surface, inferior surface and the posterior surface. Okay, the splenium, it consists of superior, inferior and posterior surface. Okay, superior, inferior and posterior surface. So the relations of the superior surface are, it is related to the inferior sagittal sinus, it is the superior surface. The superior surface is related to the inferior sagittal sinus and the falx cerebri. What is falx cerebri? Falx cerebri. Okay? The superior surface is related to the inferior sagittal sinus and the falx cerebri. The inferior surface is related to the pala choroidi, the pulvinar, the cranial body and the tectum. Got it? The inferior surface is related to inferior surface of the corpus callosum. The splenium of the corpus callosum is related to pala choroidi, the pulvinar, the pulvinar, the cranial body, and the tectum. Got it? Just remember these words. Very soon I will tell you about all these things. Pala choroidi, pulvinar, cranial body and the tectum. Got it? These are the inferior relation, and posteriorly it is related to the great cerebral vein, the straight sinus and the free margins of the tentorium cerebellum. The free margins of the tentorium cerebellum. Okay? Now the fibers of the corpus callosum. The fibers of the corpus callosum, they connect the various parts of the cerebral hemispheres, the right to the left or the left to the right. So there are various fibers, got it, which are crossing the corpus callosum and connecting the two hemispheres. Got it? The corpus callosum, there are various fibers which are passing through the corpus callosum and connecting the two cerebral hemispheres. So it is connecting the cerebral cortex. Okay? Now this is the, got it? This is one hemisphere. This is another hemisphere, isn't it? The two hemispheres, okay? Then over here you have the anterior fibers, got it? Here you have the posterior fibers, here you have the anterior fibers, posterior fibers, and here in the central part you have the central fibers. Got it? We have the central fibers. Got it? And this is the medial fissure, isn't it? These anterior fibers are called as forceps minor. Got it? They are called as forceps minor. The posterior fibers are called as forceps major. Got it? They are called as forceps major. And the middle part, which is from the anterior to the posterior part, this is the tapetum. Got it? This is the tapetum. Got it? So the two cerebral hemispheres, they are connected with each other. Anteriorly by the forceps minor, posteriorly by the forceps major, and in between the tapetum, and in between the tapetum, and in between the tapetum. Okay? Now the rostrum. The rostrum, as you know, this way, isn't it? This is how it is present, isn't it? So the rostrum is lying on the anterior side. So the rostrum connects. The rostrum connects the orbital surface of the two frontal lobes. The rostrum connects the orbital surface. Got it? Orbital surface of the two frontal lobes. Okay? The rostrum connects the orbital surface of the two frontal lobes. The forceps minor. Got it? The forceps minor connect the two frontal lobes. Got it? It connects the two frontal lobes. And the rostrum is the orbital part. It is connected with the eyes. Got it? It is connected with the orbital part. The forceps minor connects the two frontal lobes. Got it? It connects the two frontal lobes. The forceps major. Got it? The forceps major, it connects the two occipital lobes. The forceps major connects the two occipital lobe and the tapetum. Got it? The tapetum connects. Got it? The tapetum connects the it connects the trunk and the connects the inferior horn, the posterior horn. Got it? And the lateral ventricle. Got it? The fibers from the trunk and the scalene, it forms the roof of the lateral ventricle and the lateral wall of the posterior and inferior horn of the lateral ventricle. So the tapetum connects the middle portion of the cerebrum. It connects the medial portion of the cerebrum, and this tapetum, what does it do? It is forming the roof of the lateral ventricle, and it is also forming the inferior and the posterior horn of the lateral ventricle. It is forming the inferior and the posterior horn of the lateral ventricle. Now the functions of the corpus callosum are, it helps in coordinating activities of the two hemispheres. It helps in coordinating activities of the two hemispheres. It helps in coordinating activities of the two hemispheres. The fibers connects the cerebral cortex to the brainstem, spinal cord through various tracts. Got it? So this corpus callosum, got it? It is connecting the cerebral cortex with the brainstem and the spinal cord. It connects the brainstem and the spinal cord, and in this brainstem and the spinal cord there are various tracts which are passing, and these are connected by the corpus callosum, isn't it? These are connected by the corpus callosum. Example, corona radiata and internal capsule, isn't it? So we have the internal capsule, we have the corona radiata. Got it? These are connecting fibers which connect the two cerebral hemispheres. Got it? So the cerebral cortex is connected to the various parts of the brain, like the brainstem, the spinal cord, and the connecting fibers are the internal capsule and the corona radiata. Got it? The internal capsule and the corona radiata, isn't it? Through these fibers, there are various centers which are attached on the right side as well as on the left side. There are various centers which are attached on the right side as well as on the left side. Okay. There are various centers which are attached on the right side and the left side. Okay. So these are the fibers which are connected. Now to revise again, the corpus callosum is the largest part. Got it? It is the largest commissure fiber of the brain, isn't it? It is the largest commissure which connects the two cerebral hemispheres. The corpus callosum consists of genu, trunk, splenium and the rostrum. Got it? Rostrum is a small part which lies below the genu. Genu is the bend, isn't it? It lies in the anterior part, then followed by the trunk and then the splenium. The trunk lies between the genu and the splenium. The splenium is the posterior part of the corpus callosum. The genu lies in the anterior part and it lies 4 centimeters behind the frontal pole of the cerebrum. It lies 4 centimeters behind the frontal lobe of the cerebrum. Anteriorly it is related to the cerebral artery. Posteriorly it is related to the anterior horn of the lateral ventricle. Got it? The genu anteriorly is related to the cerebral artery. Posteriorly it is related to the anterior horn. The rostrum, it is directed downwards and backwards and it lies below the genu, and below down it continues as the lamina terminalis. Below down it continues as the lamina terminalis. Got it? Okay. Then you have the relations over here, isn't it? The relations of the rostrum. The rostrum superiorly is related to the anterior horn and inferiorly it is related to the longitudinal striatum. Then the middle portion between the genu and the splenium, you have the trunk. The trunk consists of superior surface and inferior surface, and the superior surface is convex. It is related to the cingulate sulcus. It is related to the cingulate sulcus and it is related to the, sorry, not cingulate sulcus but the cingulate gyrus, the anterior cerebral arteries. Okay, it is related to the anterior cerebral artery and the pars cerebri. Okay, the inferior surface is concave and it gives attachment to the septum pellucidum and it is related to the fornix, and it forms the central part of the lateral ventricle. It forms the upper part, the roof of the lateral ventricle. The splenium is the posterior most part. It is the thickest part of the corpus callosum. It has got a superior surface, inferior surface and the posterior surface. The superior surface over here, it is related to the inferior sagittal sinus and the pars cerebri. The inferior surface is related to the tela choroidi, pulvinar, pineal body and the tectum, and the posterior surface is related to the great cerebral vein, the straight sinus, the free margins of the tentorium cerebellum. The fibers of the corpus callosum, they connect the various parts of the cerebral hemispheres. The fibers are anterior, posterior and the middle fibers. You got it? The fibers of the rostrum. They connect the two orbital parts of the frontal lobe. The forceps minor connect the two frontal lobes. Got it? It connects the two frontal lobes. The forceps major connect the two occipital lobes, and the tapetum connects the two middle part of the cerebral hemispheres. Now this tapetum, it forms the roof of the lateral ventricle. It forms the roof of the lateral ventricle, and it also forms the posterior part of the posterior and inferior horn of the lateral ventricle. It forms the lateral wall of the posterior and inferior horn of the lateral ventricle. So see, it is very confusing. Lateral wall of the posterior and inferior horn of the lateral ventricle. The functions are, got it? It helps in coordinating the activities of the two hemispheres. Got it? It helps in coordinating the activities of two cerebral hemispheres, and the fibers connect the cerebral cortex to the brain stem and the spinal cord. The fibers connect the cerebral cortex to the brainstem and the spinal cord via the corona radiata and the internal capsule. Okay, so this corpus callosum is asked for 5 marks. Okay, this corpus callosum is asked for 5 marks in question number 2, and you have to draw the diagram and you have to mention all this. I will post you the notes of this corpus callosum. Okay, thank you. Have a nice